is going on, everybody? Man, happy Tuesday. Welcome to the Nashville Caveman Show. I'm your host, Damo Unleashed, and I got two good friends of mine. Sky, we're going to go ahead and start with you. Go ahead and plug in your name and what you got going on. And then Marcellus, we're going to go ahead and start with you. So go ahead, Sky. The floor is yours.
Well, first again, thank you for allowing me to be on the show. You know, God is good for us to do another episode to wake up to see this Tuesday. But as you can see down at the bottom, starting tonight, I don't know if y'all seen the flyer on my social media, but tonight, the D-Bling radio show will be starting tonight. I will be playing people's music tonight. So if you need radio play, or if you know any artists that need radio play, go to offtopradio.com. If you need a place to put your music for people to stream after they've heard it on the radio show, then you can go to offtoprecords.net. But it's one thing I wanted to do. One girl who sends me her music, her name is Veronique Martin. I've been playing her music for a long time. I'll be playing her music on the new and revived D-Bling radio show. I told her I would do this for her because she's in a thing called Fab Over 40. She was selected as a Fab Over 40 contestant. It's a beauty contest created 5 years ago by a famous actress and avid breast cancer research foundation supporter, Kathy Rankin. The first round of the competition began on October the 10th and will end tonight at 10. She advanced to the top 20. The next round will end October 26th for the top 15. So please go vote for her. She's a very beautiful young lady, very talented artist. Her name is Veronique Martin. And go to her website and her Facebook. But her site is votefab40.com/23/Veronique Martin. So Veronique, I'm very proud of you, and I've already voted for you.
Nice. All right, Marcellus.
All right, now. All right, well, my name is Marcellus Mr. Hugo Harris, and I am a native of South Carolina. I actually operate out of Clarksville, Tennessee right now, and I own a company called Clarksville AV and Installs, where we are the installation experts, and we perform residential and commercial installations for all of your audio video needs, installing in-wall speakers, TV wall mounts, projectors, projector screens, security cameras, smart home tech, anything you need inside of your home or business. We have and professionalism to make sure that we bring the project to a successful end. And I also have a podcast called That's Not What I Said podcast. So, I bring my wisdom humbly to this panel right here of a few good men, and hopefully, we can kill this topic. Honestly, I don't know if they want us to talk about this today, bro, because I'm already fired up.
Man, you know what? Man, let me tell you, brother. I got on TikTok and I laid waste, and my TikTok kind of going viral right now. And TikTok is, I wish they had a platform that supported freedom of speech, but a lot of these platforms don't do that. And so they're trying not to keep
be on Twitter
going viral. Full-size man. I went and I went and talked to this guy named Mike.
I don't know if he lost.
Scotty, can you hear him?
Bad internet connection. No, he's gone.
It sounds like he lost in the Matrix, right?
Right. I don't know if it's in.
I thought it was me. All right, so what you want to do? I don't know if we're still live right now. Looks like we are.
Yeah, okay, cool, we are. In my area, they have so much construction going on, and they're working on a Comcast line on a street down from me. So this is like, it sucks. We've been having all kind of issues with electricity, Wi-Fi, and everything, and they keep doing the same work over and over. You know how Nashville construction never ends. I hope in 10 years, man,
Yep.
they be done with it all. But unfortunately, that's not going to be. And what I did this weekend, I got a full interest. My sales reached a third of what the bed was valued at. So I put that information at the bottom, man, especially like in a time of inflation, where a lot of you guys need mattresses for your children. They start off at $100 and they do deliver. So call Mike. The number is at the bottom of the screen. Please let him know that Damon Vincent has sent you guys to him, and he'll get you guys taken care of. So with that said, Sky Marcellus, we're going to go ahead and deep dive right into this subject. What are qualities?
I don't think we live on YouTube right now, bro.
No, we are, but not via my stream. We are, but not via the this stream, because I want as least amount of interruptions as possible. So this will be on YouTube,
Okay.
but it's not live because I don't want all the interruptions. I think this is a topic that I really want people to hear the whole conversation, especially young men, because young men, we really need to come to an understanding of the information that we about to give you guys. So the topic is qualities that you should look for in a potential wife, and having an understanding of things that men should stay away from when it comes to a lot of these women. And so, Marcellus, man, me and you had a good conversation last week, even though when we were setting up, and it was, we wouldn't even know, so we went a half hour with a good conversation, and you made me think about some things, right?
Yeah.
The one thing you really made me think,
but we was talking about something else though.
Go ahead.
What was we talking about?
No,
we was talking about something else though. What was we talking about?
It was this, because what we were talking about is like what men's role is to provide security and protection and financial security, right? That is a man's job.
Financial security, yeah.
Right. And you know the one thing you really made me think of, and I was thinking about this all week. I think that is definitely true. I believe in that wholeheartedly. But you know where I see the issue at? I think that a lot of these females aren't looking, they're looking for dads in the form of a boyfriend or husband. And here's what I mean by they are looking for dads in the form of boyfriends and husbands. Yes, it is our job to provide all those things, but it is your job to be a helpmate. Meaning that if financially I have the ability to take care of the whole household, then it's your job that when we have kids, our kids should be homeschooled. They should not be in public schools where they are indoctrinating kids with sexual anything. They shouldn't be talking to our kids about anything sexual. They should be educating our kids, teaching them cursive, arithmetic, reading, writing, even how to handle money, right? So schools aren't doing that. If you have a husband that is in a position where he can stay home, then your job should be to nurture your children. Meaning that not only just nurture the children, teach them and educate them at home, but also when they have extracurricular activities, to take them to baseball games and be there at the baseball games, be there at the soccer games, go to all the parent-teacher conferences. Make sure that if your husband works, lay his clothes out. Make sure he has lunch to take with him. Do some of the, basically play the assistant role to him. And a lot of women that talk about, well, a man need to provide and he need to do this, they're not wired to be that kind of woman. Most of them, you shouldn't work a job, because if you're working and I'm working, then who's watching the kids?
Correct.
School, daycare, and I don't think that's cool. And that's why I have an issue with, when it comes to tradition, they always like, most people like to argue for one side and they never argue for the other side. And you don't see a lot of women that, nurture and play the role of the old school traditional women. And they'll say, I've run into a lot of them, and y'all stop me when I'm wrong. Mm-hmm. I've run into a lot of them that will say, well, if I find the right man that do this and do this and do that, then I'll be a traditional woman. And I say, no, man, that's not true. Because if you're wired to be the kind of person that put people before others, right? You put others before yourself. That's not a switch you could turn on and off.
Right.
Either you're that or you're not. And that's the issue. And that's the conversation that you don't see being had for the most part. So that's something that Marcellus, man, really made me think about over and over all week.
Right. Well, I mean, you said everything that I could probably hit on with that. But I just know back in the day, the old folks told me that babies will start having babies, right? There are no more big mamas here. There are no more, every neighborhood always had the old school guys you could go talk to, the older women that you could go talk to, if you needed advice. Now, if you need advice, you got to go to a shrink or a counselor and all that stuff. So if the only thing these girls have is what you say, the school system, and the only thing they have is what they see on BET with these women rapping, then who's there to teach them all that stuff that you just said?
And that's the question.
Even if they have the daddy in the household, a daddy can't teach a woman how to be a woman, and a woman can't teach a young boy how to be a man. So if this is what you're looking for in a wife, then you need to go look at the mama, look at the grandmama. If they still out clubbing and doing things like that, then I'm pretty sure the apple don't fall too far from the tree.
And you know what? I think the issue is a lot of them. Like men, we are expected to put our families first.
Right.
That's why it's important that we are the providers and the protectors. We are putting the family first. I think a female's job is to put the kids first. Yes, assist the husband, but put the kids first. That means that you don't put a career, you don't put a job. If I'm providing that, if I'm providing enough financially where you don't need to work, then wholeheartedly, I don't think you should work. I think you should be taking care of the kids. It shouldn't be, especially if we look at it like, oh man, society is, mentally unstable, to say the least. I say society is really mentally unstable. Why would you put, the children in front of to let them people indoctrinate the kids? Why don't you take care of them?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think when I have a conversation typically about men and women and what they bring to the table, I usually speak about it from the perspective of, and what does a man bring to the table? And I have a very unique definition of what it means. And we ask the question, what do you bring to the table? But I think the same things that a man is supposed to present to a relationship are the same things that is supposed to. And I don't mean exactly the same, as we already identified that we're different in what we bring to the table. So my lead, provide, and protect is different than your lead, provide, and protect. Now, does a woman still have a responsibility to lead, provide, and protect? Yes, and that's what Brother Damon was talking about just when he was talking about being participating in covering the children as much as possible. The protection part is in where we're not allowing our children to go out the house and have to participate in life in harmful environments. They may challenge the morals and values that we hold dear to our family. A lot of that stuff can get misconstrued when protecting your kids and when you're not in the proper leadership role. Give that, and I think I agree that also should not happen. Women still have to lead, provide, and protect, but we have to understand that men, we create things and systems. Women create humans. See what I'm saying? So our leadership, our provision, our protection, it different than a woman's leadership providing, and we're just talking about the divine nature of a man and a woman. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to relegate one person to a duty or another. And I think that goes into the next thing that I wanted to say, which is I think, men and women have to do a better job of choosing a partner. Women that are out here making bad decisions, suitable partners, it's men too. Us coming in and making sure that people that were aware of the fact that we need a traditional person. This is one of the first 5 to a woman when I come in contact with them. What are you looking for, a traditional woman? I'm looking for a woman that I don't have to fight to not go out the house every day to go to work. They're going to do that's fine. I'm not saying that you're wrong for that, but I'm looking for something different. I want my different for my family. I want my women to lead my family in a different way. And you're ambitious, and that's something that you feel like you have to do for you. I'm not going to be the person to tell you that that's wrong. I just want to connect with somebody whose life passion that I'm looking. You know what I mean? But we get too into changing people or trying to get people to fit a bill. As soon as we come to terms with the fact that you can't do something that I need as a primary function in my family, then I can't date you no more. You know what I'm saying? No love lost. It ain't no problem. It persists space with you because we're not going the same direction. It'll be worse. We get some investments together. We got some bills together. We got some time in this thing together. That's going to be harder than if we just look at each other and be real and be honest and be like, man, you're beautiful, you're amazing, there's nothing wrong with you, your life path is taking you somewhere different. And that's where a man should be able to have that uncomfortable conversation and make sure she knows, hey, guess what I'm doing? I'm making sure that you straight, if that's with me or not. So I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all tap in with that.
I agree with everything you just said. I just wish, how back in the day when people were looking for folks with like STDs or something, the joke would be, I wish they had it written over their forehead. I have this disease, I have that disease. I wish you could just walk up to a woman and all of a sudden say across her forehead what she's into, what she's like, what type of woman she is, instead of having to go on 1,500 dates and hope that you find what you was looking for.
Yeah.
A lot of it you learn through conversation, right?
Right.
Like the one thing that me and my wife did when we initially got together, we had more conversations than anything else, right? We probably spent more time being, having communication than being sexually active or going on dates or anything else. And the one thing that I could tell you guys that drew her.
Uh-oh, he's going into the Matrix again. Can you hear him, Scotty?
Yeah, I now he's
Scott,
slow on my end.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you guys both.
Okay, you back? Well, then he's gone. Well, then he's back.
It did this the other week, man. I hate this. The one thing that drew her in for me was she always put others before herself. Her care for others was greater than herself. And I think a lot of times with men, because I always like to speak from the men's perspective too, we always don't look at that part. A lot of women show us signs of selfishness, and we overlook it. House Factory. Took the Cheesecake Factory. Did y'all see that video?
No, I actually, you kind of, okay, well, you kind of beeped out, so most of your last sentence I didn't hear.
No, I was like, did you guys see the video where the Indian guy took the black woman out to the Cheesecake Factory?
No.
And it went viral. Basically, he took her. She was like, you know, this is beneath me.
Oh, that one. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
When she was sitting in the car. Yes. Okay.
That is a sign of a very selfish female. Because the goal of the date isn't where we're going to eat. The goal of the date is us getting to know each other. So the fact that she put that over them getting to know each other, that's a selfish woman. That's somebody you don't want to that's somebody you don't want to be with.
Well, here's the thing. He didn't know that until he actually pulled up to the Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah.
You spent the gas, you picked her up, y'all were talking in the car, you pulled up to the parking lot, then she goes live on her phone to try to make fun of you for taking her to the Cheesecake Factory. So now you got to take her back home and start the day all over again because she refuses to go to the Cheesecake Factory, right? So whose fault is that one?
Yeah. I don't know if you guys saw that her and her guy actually went live on a gentleman named Kevin Wesley's page after the original situation aired. So what I say, the first thing is it's her fault where she ended up at, because she did what most women do and she disregarded that man's time. Not only did she show up late, she made him sit in his car for an hour and didn't let him come inside the house because they don't know him like that. So that was all before they even got in the car and went anywhere. And he showed her the place where he was going to take her. And she was like, oh my gosh, yes, that's a good place. That's where we should go. And he was like, yeah, but you messed that up. You messed it up. We left your house at the time of reservation. And anybody that knows about fine dining, you get a spot. If you're not there at that spot or the window, you don't get it. It's over with. Somebody else is there. So when we leave the house and it's the time where we're supposed to be, you know, at the place, then we got to take another place, you know? So I think she was just unreasonable. I mean, they said a lot of that in the video, you know, and I don't think that he did a good job of managing that situation because, and I wish more brothers would actually take their time to say, you know what, I got a few rules and you've broken all of my rules. And, you know, I think you're a beautiful person, but I'm going to take you home. He maintained his cool the whole time. You know, he was very articulate. He took the time to express himself. And I think that that's something that we don't do as men, is we don't always take the time to manage our emotions in that moment and still lead with grace and dignity. You know what I mean? And that's exactly how it's supposed to be done. Somebody disrespect you, you don't got to fight fire with fire. Your softness, your genuinely soft, laid back, cool nature is going to do all the work when she can't figure out why she's single and she's thinking about how nice you was to her when she was being an asshole. See what I'm saying? Right. That's when she's going to how many times is it going to happen? You know what I mean? Before you realize that you're the reason why you're in this situation. And it was her. And that dude did a remarkable job of disposing of himself and representing men by, you know what? But because we can't control nobody. Right. You can't make nobody do nothing, especially not a woman. You're getting into jail time for yourself. You deal with the woman that she don't have to control herself, and you put yourself in a position to control her. You're the one losing. So you have to be like, you know what, this is over with. I'm going to take you home. This date is over. you know, we can have a conversation all the way to your house, but once we get there, it's over with. You know what I'm saying? And don't persist to do anything else. So I think that that gentleman did a very good job of managing the situation, sticking to his guns, and you know, even though he was not in a situation that benefited him, he went his way in a lot of different aspects before he got to the point where he was like, you know what, this is enough. I'm not doing this.
You know
So
what?
the video was very telling.
I think you made an excellent
Go ahead,
point.
brother.
And I think that not only do we need to do that when dating, we need to do that in relationships. Right out the gate, set the tone, and here's what it is. And if it's not going to be this, then you go your way and I go my way. And I actually had to do.
Back in the matrix.
Yeah, he's stuck again. See, that part of the video that you was talking about, the earlier part, I never saw that. Nobody ever showed that. All they showed was when they got to the spot and she went live talking about she didn't want to be there. That's the only part I've ever saw.
Yeah, it's a full video. I think the video was maybe like 7 or 15 minutes long. I can't remember how long it was, but you know, it started out there with her not running the road, not locking the doors, locking him out of his own car. The fucking audacity! How do you lock me out of my shit? She waited till he got out the car, came around, and she was like, "Girl, we are at the Cheesecake Factory. I'm not getting out of this car," and did the finger wag. She was so terribly disrespectful. But that was the beginning. After that, he gets back into the car and they start talking. And he tried to reason with her, and she wouldn't concede. So he was like, "You know what? Cool. You don't want to be here anyway. I'm just gonna take you home." She was like, "Oh, it's over." Yes, the date's over. But I sent you the link so you can see the full video.
I love that.
Yeah, I sent you the link. But when I saw the Kevin Wesley interview, they actually came back like 2 weeks after the video and was like, you know, and they kind of talked about it. And she said that she learned from the video after the video went up. She went through a process of discovery where she learned that it was not okay for her to act like that. You know, if I want a man to take care of me in these ways, I gotta at least be nice. And that was probably the most profound thing that she said. Well, how you expect a man to take care of you, bow down to you, take the jacket off of his back so you don't have to walk through water, but when somebody give you grace for being late and undesirable, you still complaining. What you want me to do? Yeah. What you want me to do? I don't know. So I think that was a good thing that he was actually able to get them back on the couch and have her get to the point where she could express. I don't really know how hard that was for her, if it was hard or not, but I think that was a really good expression that adds value to the conversation for women that agree with her. Y'all need to go back and check the second video because she had to come back and apologize and actually express some growth because you can't treat people like that. You know what I'm saying? Like you just can't do people like that.
Pride before destruction. You're right.
And that's the thing that people need to hold themselves to the same standard that they hold other people to. And that's the problem. You know, she didn't hold herself to the standard that she was holding him to.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
You know, and there are some behaviors, man, that there are some signs, fellas, that when you get to know a female, that's huge red flags, and that you should stop dating, be in a relationship with, or anything with before you even get the marriage. One of my things is any female that has a history of burning, tearing up, busting windows, anything like that, any violent behavior. If you've done that, I don't care if you did that to an ex-boyfriend 4 exes ago. I can't deal with you because I can't have you busting my house windows out or tearing my car up, something that I work hard for, and then you're not going to get the same treatment by police that I'm going to get if I did that to you. So that's a pet peeve. If you show any signs of violence, then what would you do if it was my kid? You're going to treat my kid the same way?
Burn them up. Burn the
Yeah, you
fuck
gonna
up.
burn them up, put their clothes
with,
up.
with no regard. Yeah. Yeah.
That's true.
So are we giving one? Are we giving one? Because I got one too. What's up?
Yeah, I want us to go around the table.
All right. So to what you said, I agree. I've never had that happen to me before, but I feel like I just stick and move a whole lot more than I stick and stick. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really know. I try to stay away, but I feel like, I'm gonna give a tip for this. Since you brought that up, I'm gonna give my tip. Men that put too much emphasis on certain things, certain inanimate objects. When you get with a woman, that woman is always validating things so that she can understand the importance, the order of importance. So when she starts wanting to harm you, she starts going after the things that's on this list. So it's your job to manage that list for her, because she's calculating that list if you want her to or not. So the more emphasis you put on your car, put on your clothes, the more emphasis you put on whatever, that's how she's tallying her list. So it's not her job to manage them down what she see. It's your job to manage the list. Stop acting like that car is everything on earth. I don't care I don't care if it got candy paint on. I don't care what it is. The more important you express to that woman that car is, the higher that item is on the list. All right. And so just a note for the fellas: do your job. It's your list. Okay, it's your job to know this. How do you avoid your shit get messed up? You manage the list. All right.
I agree.
So mine is skills. Doesn't have one of the first questions I ask a woman is, how do they deal with discord or discontent or conflict? What is how do you work your way through problems when you're dealing with somebody that you're dating? And to me, that's a no-go. I want to deal with someone that has the emotional intelligence to be able to have they don't like something happen in a way that also still be able to operate and see love, care, consideration, a little resiliency. We can sprinkle some different core values that I expect to still be present in the midst of discord. I don't think that an argument should ever ensue between men and women. Argument is something like a very, very strong disagreement. We should have to disagree that strongly. You know what I mean? When I care about you and I love you and I want us to be together, you don't have to cut me unruly and disrespectful in order for me to understand that you don't agree. I said poise and elegance, it has a lot to do with it. A woman that don't have the ability to manage herself when she's going through something that she doesn't like, probably not a good person to deal with. She's gonna fuck you up even too. So you gotta stay away from a woman terrible problem solving skills.
You know what scares me about what you just said too, and I'm thinking about,
What's
know
up,
how you
brother?
were talking about that list. You have a list, and she goes based off of that list of what you prioritize. So if you prioritize a house, she gonna go after that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Her
Go fuck
clothes,
your
she
house
gonna
up.
go after that. And
Yeah.
and it makes me think. What and the deeper end of that is a man that prioritizes kids. They'll go after that. I watched the video where a female purposely put kids in harm's way by calling child services, making up lies saying the kids were abused to get that man's kids taken away from him. So, I'm going to tell you, I'd rather put my car and a car can be replaced, but kids can't. So if I have a woman go after something, I'd rather her go after my car than my kids. Because women will go after your kids too.
I know that's right. I know that's right.
Sky,
Well,
you got
I would just be looking for a woman who's ready to grow, pretty much. I mean, I'm not worried about your past. I'm not worried about your present. Are you ready to grow? And she doesn't have to be an entrepreneur. She can be a 9 to 5, But every day you come home, I'm going to ask you, how was your day? And if you can tell me how your day is every day, so let's say she's a school teacher or she's a police officer, there's certain lingo and language they use when they're at work, when police officers talk to each other, when teachers talk to each other. So when she comes home and she said, I have to go through this, and this, I'm learning from her, right? So when she comes home, she can talk to me like I'm a teacher or a police officer. And then when I come home, she asks me how my day is, right? And I can tell her all the stuff I've gone through as an entrepreneur. So when we sit down at the table, we're learning from each other. And when you learn from each other, you can grow together. She come home and say, well, we should put $10,000 in a mutual fund, and in 30 years to do that. Well, let's do it. Or if I say, well, we should be able to start this business and in 30 years put a trust out for our grandkids, do that. If she's not ready to grow yet, or if her family is keeping her behind, or she has issues to where she's stuck in a place where she's not ready to just mature, then that's what I look for.
I like that.
Man,
I think the translation. Go ahead, brother.
Go ahead, finish your thought, because I do got another one.
Okay. I was just gonna say, when you were talking, I heard different characteristics. Like my form, the way I translated that in my head was, you want someone that's teachable, you want someone that's agreeable, you want someone that's selfless, right? That is malleable, right? And so I think that these things, I don't really think that people understand how important it is for a man to deal with a woman that we can teach. If I try to teach you something, I try to put you on something, I try to a better way to do something, man, I'm a deal in feelings and emotions. I don't give a fuck about what you think. Let's talk, So if I don't have the ability to operate in that and push you in that direction and see you be successful, it don't benefit me. I'm telling you not to wear that, or say this way instead of that, or on Tuesdays do it. That's so that you can be more successful. When you finish your way. It's extremely important. A woman that understands that not lower on a hierarchy because connected to somebody that sees things different. Because even in a man's life, I lack emotional and comes to a lot of shit. Sometimes I get so honed in on what I'm saying.
Yeah, me too.
And I'm a savage, and you know what I'm saying? So I need you to come in and hear what the fuck I might, and be able to say, hold on, you really here. Let me show you what outside of that, baby. You know what I'm saying? Let me put you, because we have different things that we bring to the table. So I also have to take into consideration that the wife, this woman that loves me, she's not telling me that I'm wrong because she doesn't agree with my plan completely. She's doing the same thing for me that I want to do for her. She's making me better. She improving my program. She making my shit to where it could be more agreeable to more people, because if I come in with my logic, I could probably knock 70% of people that's not gonna connect because they weren't part of my plan anyway. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's kind of like a give and take, and that woman has to be able to be malleable. She has to be resilient. She has to be able to be led. You want a man to lead you, you got to be able to submit to that. But that's not a damning thing. You know what I mean?
Well, you're right.
With me, something that's important to me is to find a female that prioritizes legacy over love. Meaning that I don't want you to be with me out of love, right? Because your love can change from day to day. You can love something, 10 years ago and then not love it 10 years later. And now all of a sudden you don't want to put any more effort into it. So, I want a woman to understand this. I'm the provider. So if providing takes me to work 2, 3 jobs and I'm going away from home most of the time, if I have to be gone away from home for
Thank you.
to take care of the family, right?
Right.
Then don't complain that, oh, you're gone all the time and then you got somebody else in feeling a need that, I'm supposed to feel. You cheating with a man because I'm working too much. Don't get on me because I'm working too much and then complain when I don't work enough. So I need a female that's going to be better, even key. Either you want me to go out here and provide for the family, or you want me to be home and not making a whole lot of money. But I need you prioritizing what we're trying to build, our legacy, our foundation, not no love. And like Marcellus, like you were saying, not your emotions, because I don't give a damn about your emotions. Can't build off of your emotions or mine.
Yeah.
Can't pay bills on emotions neither, can you?
Can't pay bills on it either.
Yeah.
Well, this is what I say because I try to have conversations where I can bring everybody into what I feel like is their part. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like everybody has a part. So I feel like when it comes to communication, one of the things that we need to kind of lead with that is we got to understand the audience that we speaking to, you know? And that's not when I say we, I'm talking about men and women. When men know that we're coming from a logical place, we have to speak to the emotional person that we're talking to. That don't mean that I have to speak in complete emotion, but I have to make sure that I frame what my expression so that person can understand. She can connect to what I'm saying. If I come in with all fucking brawn and no love, she's not going to be able to really connect with what I'm saying, you know? But if I come in understanding that I'm speaking to an emotional being, that means that I need to make sure that I form what I'm saying so they can be received by this emotional being, which in reverse is the same thing. When a woman knows she's speaking to a logical being, you can't come at just only with feelings and emotions. The creature who I am requires you to make some typological sense when you talk to me. I get it, you're emotional, that's fine, but you got to speak to the person, the audience that you're speaking to. You got to actually form your expression for that. And a lot of times, I feel like we don't really take the time to make sure that we're doing that. We're not actually taking the time to make sure that, okay, I know going into this conversation, this is a woman. She's going to have to take into consideration her feelings and emotions. And, for things to work, she's going to have to do the same thing to me. I don't get to ignore her true nature. She doesn't get to ignore mine. That has to be, you know what I mean? It has to be there.
Right.
Oh, I agree with that.
I do too. Yeah. Yeah.
You got to. It's not going to work,
But then sometimes we're talking about the characteristics that, we should look for in a wife. What about the man, right? So when he's looking for a wife, what is it that he's looking for? If he ain't looking for good characteristics, right? He's not gonna find them. So if he's not looking for a woman who's gonna listen, grow, not nag, be a good provider, all that good stuff, then he's not going to find her. And then when he doesn't find her, he's going to complain. How does that work?
Yeah.
And the crazy part? To have those characteristics with your significant other, you also need to have those same characteristics with your kids. And I don't talk about your kids at the young adolescent age. I'm talking about when they're
adults. We do a better job of making sure that we have conversations like
Is everybody still there?
Yeah. Did he freeze?
He might have.
He might have froze. Yeah.
When I was had go ahead. Is he still talking?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I said I'm back. I'm
Go
back
ahead,
now. But you can
Marcellus.
go ahead, brother. I don't even know what you guys heard, so I'm gonna let you go ahead. I just got back.
Oh no, I was just saying about, when I was coming up, we had mentors. We had, like, I don't know if they still got the Boys and Girls Club. Do they still have YMCA's? It
Yeah.
taught, they separate us. They taught young women how to be young women, young men how to be young men, and so they put those good characteristics in you, so that way I knew what to look for. But if it wasn't in me to begin with,
Mm-hmm.
then I don't know what to look for in the wife, right?
And even on
Yeah,
the
that, and we also need to know what we're supposed to do. Men don't know. It took a while. I'm 36. Within the past 4 years, I figured out what I'm supposed to do, who I'm supposed to be in a relationship. You know what I mean? So any version of myself that a woman came in contact with when I was young that they liked, I don't, because I was so far off. I know I'm supposed to present to a relationship. I can't imagine it even working. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's kind of one
Mhm.
thing to know what somebody else wants in a relationship, but I think we constantly need to be looking across the table to make sure that we're presenting ourselves the way that that woman needs to. We need to know what does a woman mean when she says lead? When a woman says provide, what does that mean? When a woman says protect, what does that mean? How do you create a safe space in the relationship? How do you make sure no matter what's going on with your partner, she always brings it to you every single time? How do you do that? You know what I mean? And that's really what a lot of the hard work is. Yeah, we can. More of the work is me developing myself so that I can even know. I don't even know what I need. If I don't know myself, I don't even know what I need from a woman.
You're right.
A lot of niggas go from relationship to relationship. They never take the time to get themselves together. They never live by themselves. They never pay their own bills.
Mhm.
And that shit is damaging, you know? They don't
what
have no time to themselves. They ain't
what
worked
what
on their
you
credit score. They can't take care of shit. They with women out of necessity because they need somebody to finance their car. They need somebody to get a cell phone for them, or they gonna have Metro or Cricket. You know what I'm saying? Like we need to work on ourselves.
know what's deep about what you're saying is the way men move is the way boys move with the mother. A lot of men haven't had a blueprint. They didn't grow up in a household where they can actually see both roles.
Hmm.
And that I think is detrimental in our
Hmm.
community right there already. A lot of men don't know. So a lot of men go
Hmm.
into relationships looking for mothers. Remember I was talking about how a lot of these females, they think they're looking for boyfriends, but more or less they're really looking for fathers.
They're looking for their daddy.
They're looking for their dads.
Yeah.
And it's vice versa. I think a lot of men are looking for their mom. Their mom is the one that do all those things that they get into a relationship looking for their girlfriends and wives to do. And the tragedy is they don't understand that they were kind of groomed like that because that's how they were raised. They wasn't raised to see, man, what a man's role is. Most men had, moms that had men rolling in and out of
Mhm.
their lives, their whole life, you know.
Hmm.
And something else, man, that I like to talk to dudes and females about is, that body count. People say that body count don't matter. That body count, let me tell you the role that body count plays. Men, when we go inside of a woman, we're conquering that woman. When a woman opens her legs, she's being conquered by that man. The problem is you got females that been conquered by double digit, triple digit men. And so when they're laying there with they're comparing and dudes the same way, they're dealing with right now everything else they've had. And so, man, there's so many we get for kids because I see. flaws of some of these men that, like my father, he what Marcellus was talking about, he was that exact same man. Couldn't be on his own. You know, man, anytime he get out of a relationship, he had to jump right back in there. Almost like he was afraid to stand on his own 2 feet. And it's sad because, Marcellus, you're right. It's like that with a lot of men, and it's like that with a lot of women. Mm-hmm. And it's a cycle that keeps on turning its ear over and over.
Yeah, you're right.
It's real. Can I add to that what you said about the body count?
Yeah, go ahead.
There's just one more fact I want to add in. I agree with everything you said. One more fact that I want to add in. Studies show that women that have over 4 sex partners have like a 70% lower chance of getting and staying married.
I've seen that.
So it's not just the things that you said. Those things are also true, but we also have to understand that the more sex partners a woman has, the more insatiable her appetite is. It's kind of like the same effect that social media has on a woman's requirement for status. Yeah. She sees how many options there are out there. She sees the different types of lifestyle she could be living. So she's not satisfied with the guy that she has and the lifestyle that she's living, because she thinks that she's always thinking that there's more or could be better. So when you have more than 4 sexual partners as a woman, you're comparing everybody to those people. You know what I'm saying? And so you can't never really fully be happy, because somebody you did something with before did it better than the person you're with, or did something different, you know, or appeal to. You just don't have the ability to say, you know, the less people a woman has sex with, the more satisfied she is with her sex. A woman that had 2 sex partners don't really know what's a big dick or a little dick. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So all of these men that have problems because they women know that they dick little is because you messing with a girl that's been around town too much. She shouldn't even know what's the difference between the big dick and the little dick. She shouldn't even know. A woman should not be able to tell you the difference between, or be able to say size matters. How do you fucking know? And she shouldn't know. She shouldn't be able to tell. A woman that has less than 4 partners don't have the luxury of knowing that your penis isn't big enough to satisfy her. She should be happy. She should be happy. A woman with more than 3 sex partners is going to be significantly less happy. She has too much shit to compare it to.
You know what? It's funny that you said that, because it's like trying to please a rich person. How do you please a rich person that has had everything? They've had everything. So how can you really please them?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So is it the old saying that you can't turn a hoe into a housewife? So when people say you can't turn a hoe into a housewife, is it because of the body count? Is that what they're talking about? Because they've had too many before you could actually, you know,
man.
I think you can turn a hoe into a housewife. See, the same things that women want and men we want from a woman. We want to have a sex star. We want a bitch that's gonna hang from the fucking ceiling fan and drop on top of the dick and squirt water out her motherfucking coochie. You don't learn shit like that by having 1 or 2 sex partners, you know? So it's kind of a slippery slope for us, because if we get a log that we gotta fuck, we mad about that. That's terrible sex. But we want to talk bad about the women that got higher body counts. Well, that's who we want. We want a woman that's at least open to the shit that I want to do to you in the bedroom. You know what I'm saying? You don't want no scared ass motherfucker that had 1 or 2 partners, or what, you know, it's just, but so to answer your question, I think you could turn her home to a housewife because she has the skills that you need to keep her in the motherfucking house.
Right.
You know what to do? She gonna rub your fucking back. She gonna talk sweet to you. She gonna fuck you the way you need to be fucked. She got the skills. Why? Cause she a hoe. She been out there. She been doing the work. She got the experience.
I like that.
And plus, you know, man, and how can I frame this where this kind of makes sense? And the throwing a hoe into. Being a hoe is one thing, but then understanding the purpose of a relationship, what your relationship is with a person, and what your role is totally different. You see what I'm saying? So, and that's the slippery slope, another slippery slope. a lot of females, man, that they really don't understand that part of it. Like, okay, our role and what we got going on sexually is one thing that plays a role in the grand scheme of our relationship, but there's other important factors that I have to understand in order to make this work. Meaning that sex alone isn't going to fix all of the problems. And there's a lot of females, hoes or not, that think that sex, and they don't understand, they think it fixes all the problems, and it don't. It's other perspectives, and there's other aspects that plays important roles, and they don't get it. And so you'll see women saying, well, why did he like that hoe? Well, that's because she provided. Maybe she listened to him better. Maybe she, when he talked, she just sat there and understood where he was coming from. You know what I'm saying? So there's other aspects, and I don't think that a lot of women get that. And they be like, I don't know why he laid with her. She ugly. You know what I'm saying? She a hoe. You know, man, she had 10 D's in her mouth at the same time. She took all 10 of them. She had 5 on this side, 5 on the other. How he picked up? Well, there's other things, man, that she had going on, man. Maybe she knew how to shut the F up. You know what I'm saying?
Correct. Yeah, you're correct. Again, to me, it's a spectrum, right? What are you looking for? A complete virgin Christian? Or you can go all the way to a person who's been prostituting all their lives. So it's up on you where you want to go up and down that line right there.
Yeah. Let me tell y'all where I want to go. Yeah. I want to go right down the middle.
Right down the middle.
Right down.
I don't know. I think if I had trust in my partner and I had someone that had more of an innocent mind that wasn't corrupted by the world, I feel like I would be able to have less pushback from that individual. You know, the innocence of, you know, positive, protective upbringing. In my opinion, if I had a vessel that was just dedicated to making me a better person, I think I would take that unexperienced person over someone that I think has more experience, because that person also got some game about them. So that means I'm not just, you know, dealing with somebody that don't know nothing. I might not even have to get a prenup with, you know, with Little Country Girl or, you know, Miss Innocent Susie, but this mug over here that got all this game, I got to put a prenup in front of her. She done been too many places. She done seen too many people. I can't operate the same way. You know, I don't have to work as hard to protect myself from the innocent joint. So if I had an opinion to choose where I fit on the scale, I'm going to go more so with the person that's had less sex partners and less experience in the world. I'm the resource. I'd have been all over the world. I'd have been to plenty of countries. I was in the army. I'd have shotguns. I done camped. I done jumped out of planes before. I did all kinds of stuff, baby. You don't need to experience. I got you. Look, let me stick my French tickler in there and let me download some motherfucking experiences. You don't need to do none of that, baby. I got it. I got it. I'll take somebody that's more agreeable and more innocent and that's more malleable than somebody that I got to fight with knowledge of the world that doesn't benefit her. It's not going to help us have a better.
You know who was preaching that? Kevin Samuels.
What's up?
Was talking exactly about that. That's why men prefer younger women. You know what I'm saying? Because a younger woman, the experience to her is going to be new. It's going to be more exciting. You can't have an exciting experience. It's just like, you know, let me think of something that we'll say, I'm thinking something cheap. We'll say New York. Somebody, a female, young female that has never been out her city, or she's going to New York the first time. It's going to be more exciting going with her than going with somebody that didn't travel to New York 10 times in a row. How exciting could it be with somebody that done been to New York 10 times compared to somebody who's never been? And so you're right. You rather have them experiences with somebody where those experiences are new and everything is is new to them, compared to somebody who, you know, man, it's one thing to have somebody jump off the ceiling onto that D and spin around for the first time, compared to somebody that did it 10 times. You know, if you didn't get it 10
Yeah,
times, it's not as
yeah.
exciting to you. But if she did it for the first
Mm-hmm.
time, you know what I'm saying? It's super exciting. Or that chick that she
Mm-hmm.
finally sucked that B the first time, and she like, oh, I like this better than I thought. Compared to, like I was saying, the chick that had 5 on this side and 5 on the other side. You ain't gonna go ahead and excite her. You just
And I think that's what we also get, you know, for a man that I don't really agree with the 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 spectrum that Kevin Samuel speaks when it talks about men dating younger. I don't think that it should be that far of a gap. Floyd Mayweather being 45, dealing with a 25-year-old to me is just unnecessary. You know, he could find him a 32-year-old or something like that, you know, closer to his age. You know, 25 to me is way too young. But I think that Passport Bros gives us the ability to kind of like get access to that same type of protected traditional innocence without actually having to, you know, steal the babies out of high school.
unfortunate part of it is a lot of women, because they've been through so many dudes, not just relationship wise, but sexually. But that, think about it. A lot of females
Hmm.
start in their teens. So by the time they're 30 or 32, a lot of them are bitter. A lot of them are set in their ways. And a lot of them, it's hard to mold them. That's why, if you look, for the most part, it's hard for older guys to get with females in that age range and be able to mold them, because they've already been through the trenches, they already been damaged, and it's hard to rewire them and to mold them because they've had too many experiences. I think that too many
Hmm.
experiences could be really detrimental to females.
Absolutely.
And I
Absolutely.
think that's why a lot of dudes, I don't think a lot of dudes, if they had it their way, they would really want to go to a 25-year-old. But a lot, I mean, think about the Kim Kardashians, think about some of them at 30. They were ruined. And dudes will still get with them, but them women were ruined. You know what I'm saying? And
So so check this out. In the Asian countries, I don't know if it's China or Korea or whatever, but I seen a video that said, and it was a Chinese lady saying this. She said, in our country, any woman over 27 is considered old goods.
yeah,
So the youth, the actual Marian body that is the most desirable is up to 27 in these countries, and it's not even like sugar coated. You know what I
yeah,
mean? It's like you once you hit 28, baby, you old lady. Start getting into the aspects of life that a man does. You know, that takes his time to figure out who he is and establish himself. You know, I'm looking for a woman that maybe can give me kids now that I have a better opportunity to take care of them. You know, I
right.
want a younger woman that, you know, can participate in life in different ways. And I mean, I understand it. I have an issue. I grew up in a time. I know something that's huge in our community is pedophilia. Okay.
Yes.
And I think a lot of these niggas are showing us their true colors by going out and dating these women that's significantly younger than them.
But let me say
Tyrese,
this. Let me say this, Marcellus.
Guy, fucking what's that? The boxer
I
I just
seen the
named.
Marcus
They're
Houston
all dealing
situation
with
too.
Puff Daddy. He married that girl out of high school. They
I,
were dating while she was underage.
but you know what? Let me say this too, because you're right. But what people don't
I don't,
address is that women
I don't
do
like
that too.
that.
Women do that too. When women do it, it's celebrated. Yay! And you look, man, ma'am, you are 42. Your eggs is dry milk. Why are you messing with this
Hmm.
42-year-old dude? Matter of fact,
Leave him alone.
we see more
Nasty.
teachers doing that with students. And it's not just
Hmm.
white teachers, it's black teachers doing it too. They grown.
Hmm.
Now, when it's
Hmm.
happening with a student, they say, "Oh, he the man." You know, it's think about it. A young dude in his 14 get with a fine 24-year-old or 30-year-old. Yay, oh, you the man. But it's the other way around. So our community got to be more consistent with that message also. They can't be hypocritical. Man, I'm sorry, Kim Kardashian.
Well, I don't think anybody's applauding. I don't think anybody's applauding men for going out and being that way. I just think that we apply a scope to that makes it to where it's okay. But I think anybody that's rational will look at a situation, and I'll be honest, women do applaud that shit. And it's mostly women that you hear talking about men that do it. I don't think niggas really got a dog in the fight. I don't think niggas really give a fuck.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm just while I'm talking, I'm like, women are the ones that let women fuck with these youngins and be cougars, and that's acceptable. And then turn around and get mad at men for doing the same thing. I feel like that part of the pushback comes from women. I don't think men even complain about the shit. But as a man having a conversation, a red flag for me is a man that brings around a woman that I think is too young for him. Now I'm thinking about every time I had my young motherfucker around you and nobody else was around, because that's some weird ass shit.
But let me ask you,
that's some weird ass shit.
I agree, but let me ask you this too. Do you guys think that there are a lot of in age women that are 35? But mentally, they're not on the level of a 35-year-old. They're 35 in age, 40 in age, but really mentality, they're 22, 23, 24. And that's the issue too. A lot of these women, yeah, they're of age, but not mentally.
And then that leads to be even more problems. And I'm gonna be honest with you know, since we're having a conversation about preference and age, I think I'm gonna put another checkpoint on the side for younger women, because you know, you have experience. You know, older women have experienced a lot more trauma from relationships. You know, I get with a younger woman, those other things are very important. But what I also consider is the fact that 43-year-old or 35-year-old or whatever, she's had significantly more traumatic experiences when it comes to dating and men than that 27-year-old or that 25-year-old. That 25-year-old probably ain't even been in one or two good relationships in their life. You know what I mean? That's the age that a motherfucker, these women, 25, 24, they spend the next 6-7 years with the wrong nigga.
Yeah.
That's the age right there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think that, you know, based off of just the overall longevity of a relationship, I don't have to deal with breaking down certain walls and barriers that was created by somebody else, another nigga, that I gotta undo. I gotta create a safe space. I gotta nurture and overcompensate in this way or that way, because this woman has had so many toxic or traumatic experiences with men. I can go get me a 27-year-old right now, even if she got one child and not with the baby daddy. That's a lot better situation to deal with than a 35 or 43-year-old that either got kids and been married before or none of the above, but got the brain of a motherfucking 12-year-old. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I want to leave this message out there for everybody. I'm not advocating for real old men to date younger women. Okay. I don't think grooming is cool. And what you described with Marquise Houston, that's exactly what he did. He groomed that girl from a teenager. Yeah. He knew. I believe he probably was messing with her before age. And then when she just got of age, he married. I don't think that's cool. But with that said, you know what I'm saying? I do get why a lot of older men like Floyd, you know, 40 something, and the girl 25, 26. I do get why he got with her. And now I probably would have had more of an issue if she was around 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. At 25, I think if you don't have some kind of maturity to you or understanding, you ain't never gonna get it, ma'am. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying?
But
because
let's talk about it.
Go ahead.
I think that, see, the dynamic that we haven't brought to the conversation that we're having right now is the fact that Floyd Mayweather has spent his time to be significant, to operate in an abundant space, you know, in his craft. He's become the best in the world. You know what I'm saying? And so once you get to the point where you've made it to where you operate in an abundant amount of space in your field, you're regarded as
It kicked him out for a minute, so it'll probably kick him back in. But you know what? Hold on, I got him back in. You know what? I got a thought to that. Go
all
ahead,
right, my bad.
Marcellus. We
So
caught the
I was
majority of
just
that.
saying,
So
you
go
know,
ahead.
I was just saying, once you get yourself to where you establish yourself, you got your spirituality right, you got your discipline right, you got your body right, you got your money right, and you're find yourself at the fucking pinnacle. You're the crown at the motherfucking top, And it's just like at that point, I don't need a woman to be smart. I don't need a woman to damn do anything for me besides rub my motherfucking back, work out, talk sweet to me, be nice, make life enjoyable for me. At
Right,
that point, most men that put themselves in that situation, they don't need the other shit. I don't need a 50-50 motherfucker. I don't need your credit. I don't need your car. Why? Because I established that shit for myself. We can go where we want. We can stay there as long as we want. We can do whatever the fuck we want to do. Guess what? I want somebody I can do that with. And I'm not getting no fucking bearded, mustached ass old motherfucking bitch to do that shit with. Why? Because I have options.
right.
I got fucking options. And I don't have to choose you. I had an old lady that was mad at me because I didn't choose her. If I gotta choose between you and the 300,000 people that live in Clarksville, I guarantee you ain't my motherfucking top choice. And for no other reason besides you old, lady. You old, and I'm up. So that means I got options.
Right. Because that's the thing, man.
So
Men
I
and
give it to him because he put himself in a position to be able to cherry pick.
yeah, Terry, you from
Yeah.
say hell. I give it to him. She a beauty.
She is, and I agree with you. 25 isn't as bad as 18 or 19 or 20. And I could go for, a 25. They're impressionable, they're ambitious, they kind of like do what you tell them to do. They don't really know enough about enough of shit to get in trouble, but they know enough to be exactly what you need. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? So if you went out there and you made a couple $100 million and you had to choose a motherfucker, I think 25 isn't a bad age. I'm just speaking about the age gap
I got you.
more than anything. 25 isn't a bad age. 45 or 25 to me is a big
Yeah.
stretch
I I understand. I
because that's
understand.
half. I would say the same thing about 60 and
I
30.
understand where you're coming
You
from.
know what I'm saying? 60 and 25.
I,
That's a
I
problem.
definitely understand where you're coming from. It's just unfortunately for me, I don't think that people's age equates to their mental state. And that's just unfortunate. I think there are people
Hmm.
in their 40s that are
Right.
still stuck in their 20s. And then I think that there are people
He in the Matrix.
He'll come back in a second.
Bad.
I mean, like he was saying, you could have somebody who's 25 who's really mature for their age, and you can have somebody who's 55 and they're immature for their age. So it just depends on, for me, what you're looking for. If you're looking for this 25-year-old girl just for the body and the beauty and the aesthetics, that's fine. But if you're looking for somebody who can match you mentally, then that's when it's like, okay, it doesn't. Do you care if she's 30, or do you care that she's 50? If y'all can come together mentally and have a great conversation, because for me, if you can have a great conversation mentally, to me it leads to great sex in the bedroom, because it all starts with the mind.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was getting at when I was saying, that's a slippery slope, because I think that's a call. That's one of them calls you have to make. Not just, I agree with what Marcella's saying, that age gap. And I also look at it on the other end, where it's just not just the age gap, but the mental state. I think that mental state have to be somewhere in some proximity to be able to, that's a judgment call. And that's a tough judgment call to make. But I do agree, if you 18 or 19, 21, 22, and you in your late 30s or 40s or anything like that, you out of pocket. I'm sorry, man. You out of pocket. You know better. You know that person, you know what I'm saying, is not mentally mature. They're fresh at life. But by 25, you should have some kind of experience to where you, because if you ain't got it by then, and I've seen females like that. I've known them at 25, been away from them and seen them at 32, and they still in the same place mentally.
But if a man is going out and he's in his own sex, and a woman,
yeah. I mean, if you're 25 or 24 and younger, and you don't know what MySpace is, you don't know what Napster is, I can't even talk to you. Like, that don't even make sense. What do we have in common?
You at least have to have lived on your own, or be, you know what I'm saying? Like at 21, 22, ain't nobody really lived on their own. By 25, you know, at least she had to have some experiences. She got her license. She can, you know, old enough to drink, you know, got her own spot, or had her own apartment. To some degree, she's been on a level where she's had to really be an adult. 18, 19, 21, 22, hell no.
Yeah.
Hell no. But hey, y'all, I'm gonna have to edit a whole lot of this video. We went about 15 minutes over. This could have been a conversation that we probably could have had for about a good 2-3 hours. You know, damn y'all. Big Comcast, I got people working down the street. I just confirmed it. There are people working down the street from my house, messing with lines and stuff. So that sucked. But I'm grateful that I'm going to be able to edit this. It will be on YouTube. I can't wait for people to see this conversation. Man, we may even have to run this back. I'll tell you. This was a great conversation, man. Marcellus, I want to thank you, man, for joining us too. And we look forward to having you on more.
Absolutely. I appreciate you, you know, inviting me down. For sure. You know how it is, man. Hey, all you had to do is send the bat signal one time, baby. I'm here. That's it.
The bat signal. I got you, my man. Hey, man, I want to say thank everybody that watched this video. If you come across it, please hit like, please follow. Marcellus, could you tell them again, where can they find you at and how can they follow you? And then Sky, I want you to do the same.
Okay.
All right, for sure. My name is Marcellus Mr. Ego Harris. You can find me on Facebook at Marcellus Mr. Ego Harris, Instagram QHef. I got TikTok and all of the other things, but you're gonna have to find them, okay? The podcast is called That's Not What I Said Podcast. We're gearing up for season 2 right now. We got a lot of topics that I'm bringing to the table. Hopefully my people can come in and add to the conversation over on my side as well. That's Not What I Said Podcast, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. You can find full episodes of season 1. That is an amazing show. But also, you know, stay tuned. Go over there, subscribe, because season 2 is coming very soon. And then also, we are the most requested, #1 requested for audiovisual installations in the Clarksville, Tennessee area. And if you're looking for any type of assistance with installation or electronic equipment, you can give us a call at 931-305-5522. But you can also find us on Facebook and Google. All right, Google heavy. Go check out my 5-star rate. Stop playing. All right, I'm out.
Well, again, you can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Sky Black. Again, at the bottom of the screen, the radio show will start tonight. Off Top Records, offtopradio.com. We have the streaming service, offtoprecords.net. I have a podcast coming soon called CEO Cartel. Well, I just want to get a bunch of CEOs and chairmen and boss men together. I don't care if you own a grass cutting business, whatever you own, you are a boss. I like to get everybody together and just talk about, bounce ideas off of each other and learn everybody's industry. Because just because I'm a music publisher, don't mean I can't learn about the grass cutting industry. Do you know what I'm saying? I want to teach people how to start holding companies and trust funds and all these things and stuff like that. So that's the podcast. It's coming soon. And then again, if you just need to reach out for radio play, you can send your music to scott.black@gmail.com.
And for me, if y'all want to follow me, just go on the internet, type Damo Unleashed. You can find me on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Also, if y'all go ahead to the YouTube channel, www.youtube.com/@SoDrivenMedia. I also talk sports too. I love the trash talk in sports. So I do that over the weekends, post a video. Y'all go on there and just view the videos. But please, a lot of people, I want to say this. A lot of people misunderstand supporting a certain a person, right? Supporting a person doesn't always have to come in the form of cash. You can support people by promoting them, following them, and liking them. And that's the least you can do if you don't have no money and you broke. And I understand, man, with inflation, a lot of y'all broke. And a lot of people in their heart, they really don't want to see people do better than them. So they don't want to spend the money. But the following, that is inexcusable. If you got somebody's back, man, there is no reason why you shouldn't be liking, sharing, or following them, promoting them, telling other people about what they got going on. So I'm just saying.
That's right.
So with that said, man, we out. Peace. Thank you all for tuning in. Hit the like, hit the share.
Have a great week.
Yeah.